Ladies and gentlemen, we're only a few weeks removed from WrestleMania 40, which means that Crazy Maniac and Jdawg are going to fantasy book until WrestleMania 41. And I'm going to go first. I know Jdawg has more pay-per-views.
But I have like 2 or 3 more because I didn't realize how much we were doing. But I'm still going to go over mine like normal. It'll just be a little different from Crazy Maniacs.
I did 9 pay-per-views. BackLash, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Bash in Berlin, Survivor Series, Night of Champions, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start with my BackLash card, and some of these matches are set in stone. So I kind of have a rematch from WrestleMania, but it's a little mixed up. It's Rey, Mysterio, and Carlito versus Santos and Dom. And I really don't have Dom in a whole lot of my fantasy booking, but yeah, I had Santos and Dom versus Carlito and Rey, and Santos and Dom win, and then afterwards we have Carlito turn on Rey Mysterio, and, you know, they start their big feud, Carlito versus Rey. I think this would be a really good feud to start, and you have Santos and Dom pick up a win as a tag team. Then we have Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross, as opposed to the 6-man tag team match at WrestleMania. They actually have a 1-on-1 match. I have Bobby Lashley winning. And then with the recent news of Rhea Ripley having to relinquish her championship, I have Liv Morgan taking on Raquel Rodriguez for the championship. And I have Raquel Rodriguez winning. So Raquel is the new women's champion. Then I have Sammy versus Gable for the IC championship. Sammy retains. Bayley versus Io for the women's championship, a rematch from WrestleMania. Bayley retains. This one's a little weird. Belair and Cargill taking on the women's tag team championships of the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi. And I have the Kabuki Warriors winning. Sorry about that. And Jade Cargill turns on Bianca Belair. So we have this huge rivalry that has been a dream match, honestly. And they had their tag team match at WrestleMania, so I've just felt it fit for them to have this tag team championship opportunity. Plus, they beat the Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that doesn't happen here. The Kabuki Warriors retain. Then I have Awesome Truth versus DIY for the Raw Tag Team Championships, with Awesome Truth retaining. Then Cody versus AJ Styles. I have... They had their match, right? LA Knight and AJ Styles last night?
Yep.
Who won?
AJ.
Okay, good. So this makes sense.
Yeah.
Cody defeats AJ.
That's what I was hoping for, too, because I made the same booking decision. I was like, oh my goodness, I hope they have AJ win.
Yeah. Damian Priest defends against Jey Uso, which is actually going to happen. I have Priest winning due to Judgment Day shenanigans. So not a whole lot going on, but we did have Carlito turn on Rey and Cargill turn on Belair. Rodriguez is the new Raw Women's Champion. Awesome Truth retains. Cody retains. Priest retains. Bayley retains. Sammy retains. The Kabuki Warriors retain. Basically everybody retains their championships other than Rhea Ripley. And then we move on to Money in the Bank. And I have this as a introduction for a specific match. And we had a similar match at WrestleMania with the tag team championships being on the line in that 6-pack challenge, where we have a tag team Money in the Bank ladder match. And that would be DIY versus AOP versus Imperium versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo versus New Catch Republic. And yeah, I really want to see Imperium get their big shot. We've already seen Gunther have that illustrious NXT UK Championship reign, plus his Intercontinental Championship reign. And I know Imperium, they've been NXT Tag Team Champions. Their reign wasn't really good. I really want to see them go on a reign, but they win the Money in the Bank, the inaugural Tag Team Money in the Bank, for, you know, whatever they want to go fight the champions, they can go do that. Then I have Bayley taking on Kairi Sane for the Women's Championship. And Bayley retains. Bayley's going on a dominant run. I want to see her have a good run with this championship. Then we have the men's Money in the Bank. That would be Chad Gable versus Andrade versus Santos Escobar versus Bronson Reed versus Carmelo Hayes versus Drew McIntyre. And everybody is out in the ring except for Drew McIntyre. He's about to make his entrance. And then it pans up to the big screen, the Titantron, and it shows CM Punk and Drew McIntyre having this backstage brawl. And they both just take each other out, essentially. So we have to have a replacement. So we have this announcement. We're going to have a replacement for Drew McIntyre. And who comes out other than MJF? Whew. And I have MJF winning the Money in the Bank men's. And Jdawg shaking his head. Yeah, and then after that, we have Damian Priest defending his championship against Randy Orton. And I have Damian Priest retaining. After that, Theory and Waller defend the championships against the New Day, and Theory and Waller somehow retain. Then the women's Money in the Bank. We have Jade Cargill, who just turned on Bianca Belair. She's getting her big opportunity in the singles, career. Cargill versus Charlotte versus, returning Charlotte, returning Alexa Bliss, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Liv Morgan. So this huge 6 women Money in the Bank match. And, I think the favorite here would be Jade Cargill. But I have Bianca Belair basically costing Cargill the Money in the Bank match. And we actually have the winner of Tiffany Stratton. I think she would be another favorite as well. Plus we have the returning Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. And Alexa Bliss is going to be a prominent feature in my fantasy booking at least.
Yeah.
And then the main event being Cody Rhodes taking on Bobby Lashley. And, yeah, I really want to see this match at least once. Lashley versus Cody for the championship. And I have Cody retaining at Money in the Bank. So moving on to SummerSlam. The biggest show of the summer. Probably the second biggest show of the year. The first match. The pre-show would be for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Theory and Waller defending against AOP. And AOP just destroy Theory and Waller. AOP are the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions at SummerSlam. And then starting the main card, we have the first big match. Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. And of course, this is going to be number 1. We have to have another one of these. And, this is a dream match. And I have Jade Cargill winning, beating Bianca Belair. And the reason she wins is because Naomi helps Jade Cargill. And she turns her back on Bianca Belair. And, from that basically becomes Cargill's lackey.
Yeah.
After that, we have for the U.S. Championship, LA Knight versus Logan Paul versus Randy Orton. And LA Knight is able to pick up the United States Championship. Pick up the win against Logan Paul. I don't want to see Logan Paul have the U.S. Championship for too long, and I really think LA Knight would have a great championship run.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have Braun Breaker versus Bobby Lashley.
Ooh.
That would be...
Big men slapping big men meat.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of gay.
I didn't come up with the term. That was, I believe Corey Graves came up with that term, or... Somebody in WWE.
So, Bobby Lashley lost to Cody Rhodes at Money in the Bank, and then he gets this match against Braun Breaker. And yeah, that is essentially big men slapping big man meat. That is the entire reason for it. Braun Breaker is this absolute stud. And Bobby Lashley is, former world champion. He's an absolute stud as well. I really think these two powerhouses going at it would be awesome. But I don't think you have Braun Breaker win. I think you have Bobby Lashley beat Braun Breaker. Just, showing him, hey kid, not yet. Then after that, we have Raquel Rodriguez defending her championship. She missed out on Money in the Bank. I would probably just put that as, because she I mean, she's just starting her title reign. She doesn't really have a rivalry. Maybe she does something on the pre-show. I don't know. But at SummerSlam, she defends against Charlotte Flair. And this would be kind of similar to the Rhea versus Charlotte match at WrestleMania, where this is her breakout moment. I feel like this would be a great match for Raquel to have. And Raquel obviously retaining. And after this, she would start referring to herself as Mommy. Because she's, I mean... excuse me? But yeah, Raquel starts referring to herself as Mommy. Obviously making fun of Rhea, but she is the new women's champion. I think you have Raquel kind of turn... Not necessarily heel.
I think you don't do a full turn heel. I think you kind of counter as kind of a tweener, but you like...
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. Like,
this is my fantasy booking. Go away.
Heelish tendencies.
Yeah,
well, you looked at me when you said that, so you told me to be quiet.
She really has a very plain character.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have a new twist on it.
It's like, ooh, look at my shoulders.
Look at my back.
Look at my back. Look at my shoulders.
Yeah, I really think that her referring to herself as the new Mommy, that would be kind of a new little thing in her character.
Yeah.
Yeah, then after that, we have a rematch. Sami Zayn taking on Chad Gable. Chad Gable lost the men's Money in the Bank. Obviously being bested by MJF. So we have Gable going for the Intercontinental Championship again. And this time, he actually beat Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. And Chad Gable is your new Intercontinental Champion. After that, we have the huge blow-off match, Carlito versus Rey Mysterio. The winner becomes the LWO leader. And I honestly see Carlito winning. And then after the match, Carlito wins, and he's the new leader of LWO. He tells the LWO members, injure him. And they injure Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio is going to be out for a while. Moving on, we have Damian Priest defending his world championship against Gunther. And Gunther wins. Gunther beats Damian Priest for the world championship, but it's not under just any, normal circumstances. MJF teases cashing in the Money in the Bank on Priest, and obviously this would give Damian Priest like a surreal moment. Oh my god, I just won this championship by cashing in. I can't get cashed in on. And he gets distracted by MJF, and then he gets hit with a huge powerbomb, huge splash. Gunther is your new world champion. And then, right after that match, you have the huge match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, with a little twist being the winner gets a world championship match against, it would have been either Priest or Gunther, so it's going to be against Gunther. And I really see Drew McIntyre beating Punk. I don't really see Punk beating McIntyre at all. I don't think it makes sense. You really think he would?
I think it makes perfect sense.
Why?
I'm not explaining why right now. You'll learn in my fantasy booking.
And then we have, for the World Championship, Cody Rhodes defending that gold against the leader of the new bloodline, Solo Sikoa. And, have a 30-minute match, 20-minute match, something like that. Huge SummerSlam main event. And really, even though Solo's going to lose, Cody's going to retain. I don't see him losing it anytime soon. I don't see him losing it in 3 months. But I do really think that you have Solo have this breakout performance. Cody Rhodes brings his star power up too, just because he's in this huge world championship match. And then, after Cody wins, Roman Reigns makes his return. After not being seen since WrestleMania. After being beaten by Cody Rhodes, finally losing his 3.5-year championship reign. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns returns, and he comes out, and you don't know, a face-off between Cody and Roman. But instead of going after Cody, Roman Reigns attacks Solo Sikoa. Oh. And you have this rivalry between Solo and Roman. So the next pay-per-view, at Bash in Berlin, you have Jade Cargill, who beat Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. She takes on the women's champion, who had just beaten Charlotte Flair, Raquel Rodriguez. And these are really, two huge stars. Cargill, when she came into WWE, was a huge star. Mm-hmm. And I really think that if you have Rodriguez beat Charlotte and, go on this championship reign, start having this new edge to her character, she could be at that same level. So you have this huge match between two, basically up-and-comers in WWE for the championship, and Rodriguez retains against Cargill because of interference by Bianca Belair. Bianca's not going to let it go that Cargill turned her back on her. And, and obviously after Cargill beat Belair, Naomi, helped Cargill. Belair's wanting some revenge, and she takes the opportunity away from Cargill for the championship. And then, for the United States Championship, LA Knight, who just beat Logan Paul and Randy Orton, he defends against Bobby Lashley. And LA Knight retains against Lashley. Not too much of a story there, just two guys looking for a championship reign. Then Awesome Truth defend their Raw Tag Team Champions against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate of New Catch Republic. And, the match is going great. Awesome Truth looking for a victory. And then, out of nowhere, Imperium cash in that tag team Money in the Bank. And you have Imperium become the new tag team champions. After that, MJF tries to get revenge on Damian Priest. Or actually, the other way around. Priest tries to get revenge on MJF for basically interfering and creating the distraction for Priest to lose his championship to Gunther. So it's MJF versus Priest, and Priest wins. And I really think maybe you shouldn't have MJF lose on a big stage, especially this soon.
Yeah.
But the reason he loses is because Andrade just came from AEW, and he's been looking for his opportunity, and now all of a sudden, he was in the Money in the Bank match. Now all of a sudden MJF's here. He's the Money in the Bank winner. He's going up against a former champion. This should be his spot. Andrade interferes, causing MJF to lose. Then after that, you have the blow-off from Solo and Roman. Solo taking on Roman Reigns, and Solo wins due to bloodline interference. The new bloodline interference. And then Gable defends his Intercontinental Champion against none other than Jey Uso. And right after the bloodline had just attacked Roman Reigns, they attack Jey Uso as well, leading to Gable retaining his Intercontinental Champion. So I really think this sets up the next pay-per-view as Survivor Series. This sets up the huge bloodline war. And during this time, you have, Solo building up his bloodline. He has Tama Tonga. He has Jacob Fatu. I think, is he in NXT?
Who, Jacob?
Yeah.
He's signed, but he hasn't debuted yet.
And then there's another guy on the independent scene that I'd like to see.
Zilla.
Yeah. I'd like to see him there too.
Zilla. It's either Zilla or Zilla. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you have Jacob and Tama Tonga kind of form a tag team, go for the championships. But really Solo and his new bloodline take out both Roman and Jey Uso. And then you have Gunther defending his world championship against Drew McIntyre, who just beat CM Punk for the championship contention. And Gunther, obviously, they had a huge match at WrestleMania 39. Gunther, Sheamus, and McIntyre. So now you have this McIntyre and Gunther feud, and Gunther defends and retains his championship. And then after this, I really think you need to have it at least once, Cody versus Randy Orton for the championship. And Cody has to beat him.
Yeah.
Cody has to beat him. Just kind of the circle of life kind of thing. Orton brought him in and now has helped him. Not actually helped him, but maybe morally helped him.
Yeah.
For moral support. Anyway, moving on. Survivor Series. Raquel Rodriguez defends the Women's Championship against Nia Jax. And Raquel wins. Why would you have Nia win? The new mommy has a even longer title reign. And I really would like for Raquel to have a great title reign. Like a very long one. She really deserves it. Her and Rhea were in the same... they were brought up the same exact way. The only the thing that made Rhea go to the main roster was Raquel beating her for the NXT Women's Champion. So, I don't know. There's a lot of history. Also, I only have one War Games match part of Survivor Series, and it's the women's. I would have the 4 horsewomen, but because Mercedes is in AEW, I couldn't have that. So I have the 3 horsewomen, Becky, Charlotte, and Bayley, teaming up with Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. And they take on the team of Jade Cargill and her lackeys, Shayna Baszler and Naomi. And they're teaming up with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. And Cargill's team wins. And just as the cages are being raised and, everybody's out of the ring, Tiffany Stratton cashes in on Bayley and wins the Women's Championship. I'd also like to mention, at Bash in Berlin, when LA Knight beat Bobby Lashley, you have Montez Ford step up. And I would have Montez Ford beat LA Knight for the United States Championship at a regular Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whatever it may be. So LA Knight doesn't defend at Survivor Series because he lost the championship. Neither does Montez. He doesn't defend. But, yeah, that's just something I needed to mention. Then you have Andrade versus MJF. And Andrade pulls out the victory here. That's good booking. That's good booking.
Yeah.
And then Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. And
Wait, what?
Pete Dunne.
What?
Yeah.
Where was the build up to that? I missed it.
Bash in Berlin, Awesome Truth versus New Catch Republic. Dunne turns on
I missed
Bate
that part.
I don't know if I mentioned it.
I don't think you did. I was
Sorry, I don't know if I
how'd you
mentioned
get the Dunne versus Bate?
Yeah, basically, after Imperium cash in and win the tag team championships, Dunne turns on Bate.
Oh, okay.
Dunne
now
has
it makes
this
sense.
the bruiserweight heel run like he had in NXT, and Pete Dunne beats Tyler Bate at Survivor Series. Then we have, for the World Championship, Drew McIntyre. And this is a little weird because at Bash in Berlin, he fought Gunther for the championship. At Survivor Series, he's facing Cody for the championship, for the other championship. So it's McIntyre versus Cody. And MJF cashes in. After losing to Andrade earlier in the night, he cashes in and wins the World Championship from his former friend, Cody Rhodes. And then, even though I said there's only one War Games match, like there's only one official one, I have 2 more huge tag team matches. The first one being Judgment Day, that being Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and probably JD McDonough as the tag team, Balor and McDonough. They face Imperium, Gunther, and Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser.
It's McDonough.
You're stupid.
You're
McDonough.
stupid. It's
McDonough.
McDonough.
It's McDonough.
It just sounds weird. It's McDonough.
But that match is for both Gunther's World Championship and Imperium's Tag Team Championships. So winner takes all, and Imperium win. And after Imperium win, Judgment Day, just seeing Damian Priest as the leader.
Give him the boot.
Yeah,
Give him the boot.
Man, this is my fantasy booking. Go away. Damian Priest gets turned on by the Judgment Day.
Give him the boot.
And Balor becomes the new leader.
Yeah.
And then after this, Shinsuke Nakamura joins Judgment Day.
Excuse me?
And then you have Roman teaming up with the Usos as the old bloodline, taking on the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. And you have the new bloodline win. And this is a bloodline rules match, and they all take out Roman Reigns and the Usos. So Roman Reigns and the Usos are written off TV after this. Oof. The new bloodline has taken over, and they are running WWE. Also, another match, that's the main event. Another match I forgot to mention, though, Braun Breaker versus Carlito, and Braun Breaker wins. So I actually basically have it to where Andrade and MJF are like one of the big matches. You know, maybe it's not a number 1 contenders match, but it's still one of the matches where, okay, if you lose, you're probably going to go down in the rankings or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So Andrade wins and Breaker wins. So then at Night of Champions, you have Braun Breaker versus Andrade for the number 1 contendership. Whoever wins gets to face Cody at Royal Rumble. And Braun Breaker ends up winning because Carlito has the LWO attack Andrade. Then you have Rodriguez defending her championship against Blair Davenport. Just Blair's in NXT. She's going to come up. She's going to have one match and then lose. Rodriguez, the new mommy, retains her championship, making her reign even longer. And then after this, after Rodriguez beats Blair Davenport, Rhea Ripley makes her return after being injured for, 8 months. Man, what are you doing?
Picking it up.
Oh my goodness. So he decided to drop a whole bunch of stuff while recording. I cut it out, but now he's fixing it.
It's fixed.
Good job.
Yay.
Stratton defends her championship against Io Sky. And kind of in an upset, Tiffany Stratton retains her championship.
Oh.
Gunther then faces the new leader of Judgment Day, Finn Balor, for the World Championship. And Gunther retains. Asuka and Kairi defend their tag team championships against 2 of the winners from the War Games match, Naomi and Shayna Baszler. Naomi and Shayna Baszler become the women's tag team championship. I almost said championships. But yeah, Cargill and Naomi and Baszler are this faction that, now Baszler and Naomi are kind of running the show. Then you have Imperium defend their tag team championships against the Good Brothers.
Ooh.
And I only have them one time in my fantasy booking, but Imperium retain. And then at Night of Champions, Montez versus LA Knight. A rematch from when Montez beat LA Knight, and this is for the U.S. Championship. Montez retains, and really cementing the fact that I'm the new U.S. champion. I'm the new guy. And I would prefer if they were kind of sowing the seeds at this point of Bobby Lashley's kind of jealous because he couldn't beat LA Knight, but Montez can. Then Gable defends his Intercontinental Championship. After beating Sammy at SummerSlam, he has really just had this huge championship reigns. He defends against Kevin Owens and retains the Intercontinental Championship. And I really think Chad Gable has this run of, a fan favorite. He's just super... The fans love him. And he has these huge victories over Kevin Owens and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. So Gable is cemented as a champion. And then, in the main event, after MJF cashed in on Cody Rhodes to win the championship, Cody versus MJF for the champion. And Cody Rhodes wins because Seth Rollins distracts MJF. Seth Rollins makes his huge return. And he doesn't like the fact that MJF came from AEW and he becomes champion already. Seth Rollins makes his huge return after not being seen for months after WrestleMania. And costs MJF the World Championship. So then, Royal Rumble comes around. Leading up to the biggest show of the year, the Women's Royal Rumble. I only have a few things happen during this. Basically, the women's tag team champions, Baszler and Naomi, they have this standoff, and Baszler eliminates Naomi. Mm-hmm. Belair versus Cargill also happens in this Women's Royal Rumble. They have a huge standoff, former rivalry. Current rivalry, actually. And then, who actually wins the Women's Royal Rumble? You may ask.
Who is it? Who wins?
Alexa Bliss wins the Women's Royal Rumble with the help of Uncle Howdy. After the Women's Royal Rumble, you have Seth Rollins taking on MJF. That's a dream match. And Seth Rollins beats MJF. For the Intercontinental Championship, Gable defends in a fatal 4-way. And leading up to this match, he's like, okay, I know I'm a fighting champion, a fatal 4-way, and he goes against all of the people that he beat during his reign. It's Gable versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso, and Gable pulls out the victory. Gable is still the Intercontinental Champion. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship. And, Raquel and Rhea having this huge 20-minute match. Liv Morgan helps Raquel Rodriguez retain against Rhea Ripley. So Raquel continues staying as mommy. Then we have Cody Rhodes defending the championship against Braun Breaker. And Cody Rhodes wins, and then Drew McIntyre calls out Cody. Then we have let me see if I can find my spot. Nakamura and Dominic Mysterio taking on Imperium for the Tag Team Championships. Obviously, Nakamura's in Judgment Day now. And Imperium win. I don't really see Imperium. I really see them having a huge title reign. I don't see them losing too soon. And then my men's Royal Rumble is really stacked. You have Priest come back after being taken out by Finn Balor. He eliminates Finn Balor. Kevin Owens, after being in the Intercontinental Championship match, he's in the Royal Rumble. He eliminates LA Knight. And then LA Knight pulls that Steve Austin move where he just gets right back in the ring and throws Kevin Owens out. And then you have Bobby Lashley eliminating Montez Ford. Not splitting up the group, but really showing every man for himself.
I am the captain now.
And then Uncle Howdy is a surprise entrance, and he eliminates Randy Orton. And then after, obviously, Alexa Bliss won the Royal Rumble, Uncle Howdy and Alexa Bliss form a stable. I don't know exactly who you have in it, but, just some people that...
Eric Rowan.
No.
He actually might end up being a part of it, because apparently there were some indie promotions that were trying to get Eric Rowan, and he said he had contractual obligations. So it might be possible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then the final moment in the Royal Rumble match. You have Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu or Zila or whatever the hell.
Huh?
They are the last people in the match. They've eliminated everybody. And they're waiting for number 30. And who is it but Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns eliminates all of them and becomes the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner. Something I forgot to mention, at Royal Rumble, Montez Ford defends his U.S. Championship against CM Punk. And Montez Ford picks up the victory because the Bloodline attacks CM Punk. Elimination Chamber. After Gable has defended the Fatal 4-Way, he defended the championship in a Fatal 4-Way match at Royal Rumble. He defends the championship in the Elimination Chamber. It's Gable versus Breaker versus Tyler Bate versus Kevin Owens versus Pete Dunne versus LA Knight for the Intercontinental Championship. Obviously, I'm having some WrestleMania matches, and everybody's in this match. Everybody who's in this match, they have a one-on-one match against each other at WrestleMania. And after Chad Gable has defended against some of the best in the industry, after he defends the championship in a Fatal 4-Way match, and then after he's put into an Elimination Chamber match, it's Braun Breaker versus Chad Gable at the very end of the chamber match, and Braun Breaker pulls out the victory for the Intercontinental Championship. What is that? After that, we have the Street Profits. Montez Ford trying to become a double champion, the U.S. champion and a tag team champion. They fight AOP. And after a great match, after it looks like the Street Profits are about to win, Bobby Lashley ruins it for both of them. And AOP wins the match. And that officially breaks up the partnership between the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. After this, you have Carlito versus Andrade. Obviously, Carlito told LWO to attack Andrade at Night of Champions. Him losing his number one contendership match against Braun Breaker. So you have Carlito versus Andrade. LWO attack Andrade. And then Rey finally comes back to help Andrade. And Andrade is able to pull out the victory. And then after Seth Rollins beat MJF at Royal Rumble, MJF starts this partnership with Karrion Kross and the AOP. And you have MJF challenge Seth Rollins to a tag team match at Elimination Chamber. MJF and Karrion Kross versus Seth Rollins and a mystery partner. And at Elimination Chamber, that mystery partner is shown to be Buddy Murphy. So it's Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins who pick up a victory over MJF and Karrion Kross. Then, we have Tama Tonga take on CM Punk. And the Bloodline attack CM Punk, leading to Tama Tonga winning the match. Obviously, after the Bloodline attacked Punk during his U.S. Championship match at Royal Rumble, you have Tama Tonga versus Punk. And who helps CM Punk against the Bloodline other than Kofi Kingston? And Kofi Kingston, obviously Punk loses, but he still helps Punk from getting injured or whatever.
Yay!
Then you have Damian Priest taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Balor says that Priest cannot get a WrestleMania match against him unless he beats Nakamura at Elimination Chamber. And Priest loses to Nakamura due to Judgment Day interference. However, the next Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or whatever the case may be, Damian Priest challenges not Finn Balor. He challenges the Demon Finn Balor to a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania, and Balor, he accepts it.
What?
Then, the Elimination Chamber match for the women, it is Liv Morgan versus Naomi versus Michin versus Natalya versus Nia Jax versus Nikki Cross. So you have...
Huh?
You had Liv Morgan help Raquel defend the championship against Rhea at Royal Rumble. But then, in a shock turn of events, in the Elimination Chamber #1 contender match for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, Liv Morgan wins. So the only thing that could mean is Liv Morgan going against Raquel, her friend, who she just helped retain the championship. WrestleMania time. WrestleMania Night 1. AOP versus DIY. And it's that same exact kind of thing when New Day came out during the WrestleMania 33 and brought the Hardys out.
Yeah.
It's that same exact thing. The host comes out and says, this isn't a 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 match. This is a triple threat tag team match for the championships. Who comes out other than FTR?
Oh.
You have one of the NXT match, one of the legendary NXT matches at WrestleMania. AOP versus DIY versus FTR for the tag team championships. And guess who wins? Take a guess, Jdawg.
FTR.
No. AOP continue their reign of dominance. Hell in a Cell match. Damien Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. I almost said Damien Finn Balor. Anyway.
Hold on.
Damian Priest picks up the victory against the Demon Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Montez Ford versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Dawkins helps Montez, leading to Lashley losing, and Montez retains the U.S. Championship. Braun Breaker versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. And I really think that after you have him win the Elimination Chamber match and win the Intercontinental Championship match, you have him turn heel. So a heel Braun Breaker versus the all-American good guy, the fan favorite of Chad Gable, and Breaker retains the championship. Then you have, one thing I forgot to mention, at Elimination Chamber, Shayna Baszler and Naomi defend their championships against Alba Fire and Isla Dawn and lose the tag team championships because they break up. And then it's Naomi versus Baszler. Baszler comes out with the victory. Then you have Charlotte versus Becky.
Uh-oh.
I'm just having that match there. Doesn't matter.
Nice.
Just old-timey match.
Old-timey.
From a 2016 card. And obviously two of the most legendary women's wrestlers of all time. Yes. I don't care who wins that. Then you have Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga versus CM Punk and Kofi Kingston. And Punk and Kingston come out with the victory. Then, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Championship. And who wins? It's not Raquel. It's not Liv Morgan, it's Rhea Ripley. Mommy's back. Mommy's the Women's Champion.
I eat, sleep, drink.
Then, Roman Reigns, the Royal Rumble winner, the former 3.5-year WWE World Heavyweight Champion, chooses Gunther. Roman Reigns versus Gunther, the Tribal Chief versus the Ring General. And Gunther wins. Main event of night 1, Gunther versus Reigns. Gunther retains. Then, WrestleMania Night 2, the Usos versus Imperium. The returning Usos, by the way, versus Imperium. The best tag team in the world. The Usos win the tag team championships from Imperium. Then, you have MJF versus Rollins 2. And MJF pulls out the victory. And, after this, I don't care what you do with MJF. But it has to be like a feud against Cody, right?
I imagine.
Something like that. After LA Knight and Kevin Owens had their little spiel thing at Royal Rumble, they have a match at WrestleMania, and LA Knight beats Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
Tiffany Stratton, the women's champion, defends against the once Fiend driven Alexa Bliss, now the Uncle Howdy driven Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss wins the women's championship from Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Then you have Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. And I really think this is a continuity thing. Logan Paul at WrestleMania 38 lost. At WrestleMania 39 lost against Seth Rollins. At WrestleMania 40 he's able to adapt and get better to the point where he can retain his U.S. Championship against Owens and Orton. Then at WrestleMania 41, he has a one-on-one match with AJ Styles, one of the best to ever do it for 20 plus years. And Logan Paul wins because KSI debuts. And then I think you have KSI and Logan Paul win the tag team championships after this. I don't know.
Wow.
However, after this, we have Andrade and Rey Mysterio versus Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde, with Carlito kind of transitioning to that MVP role of manager / mentor / guy that can't really wrestle anymore.
Whoa.
And you have Andrade and Rey win. And I really think that Andrade and Rey would be a great tag team, for real.
I mean, they've already shown it this past WrestleMania,
yeah. Then you have Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair, number 2. Rematch from SummerSlam, rematch from Survivor Series with the War Games match. And it's Belair coming out with the victory this time at WrestleMania 41. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Uncle Howdy versus Randy Orton. And I think you have the same kind of story with how The Fiend was the avenger of Bray Wyatt, the cult leader. Uncle Howdy is now the avenger of The Fiend. So Uncle Howdy defeats Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and you have Alexa Bliss and Uncle Howdy both get victories, both stand tall at WrestleMania. Then the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the World Championship, and Drew McIntyre finally gets his moment, and it's not ruined by a Money in the Bank cash.
Dream broken dreams.
So, if you want to listen to Jdawg's fantasy booking, look out for episode 22, part 2. This was episode 22, part 1. Yay!
Nice.
Let's go!
Tell me if you like that.
Yeah.
I that was great booking in my opinion.
I think it was terrible, but that's okay.
You suck.
You suck.
Up in it, bitch, we tryna get higher.
Putting it back, I cooking a rack, me eating that pack, a meal in a stapper, holding it time, pull up in the primary real, the trust, not faking the cap. Yeah, killing the trapper, coming back, I'll break new loose, keep up in the track, I'm feeling the beach, burning, healing, marketing, typing, baking, scream. Don't clap in the sea, air track and pee, I'm master love, but fiend too deep, I'm switching my game, take pass and see, even with my shot, no line to see.